Hello, this is Thogdad here, and I can't believe it, but I'm starting my own YouTube channel at long last. And I've absolutely no idea how this is going to turn out because I have no clue about editing. But you know what? I've got my new MacBook Pro and I'm going to learn how to make videos. And if they're rubbish, apologies in advance. Now, as you all know, I support Bolton Wanderers. And every Bolton Wanderers fan grows up hating Man United. It's something biological. It's something in our DNA. And if you're a Bolton fan who likes Man United, you put up for adoption. It's how we do things up north. My first video is going to be about Manchester United, the greatest Man United Premiership 11 of all time. Now, why am I doing this? And basically it's because between 1993 and 2013, Manchester United were just brilliant. In those 21 years, they won the Premier League 13 times. I'm just going to start by reading out my subs bench. Edwin van der Sar, Jaap Stam, Dennis Irwin, Eric Cantona and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Now, how good is the starting 11 going to be? Now, I've gone for a 4-3-3 formation. And let's kick off with the goalkeeper. And there's only one name for me, and that's the Great Dane with the triple XL shirts, Peter Schmeichel. I mean, this man is simply a legendary goalkeeper, possibly the ultimate goalkeeper, the man you want behind you if you're on a football pitch. This is a guy who was strong, he was wonderful at shot stopping, taking crosses, he was brave, he had everything. And on top of that, he had this winning mentality and this anger. You know, I don't know what he was angry about. Maybe it was because Carlsberg costs so much in his home country. And just a little Thogdad fact, because I've been talking for 2 minutes without giving you one. Peter Schmeichel actually scored 10 goals in his career, one of them for Denmark. So he was a player who loved to get up, you know, in the last minute if his team were losing. He'd forget that he was a keeper and he'd come up for crosses and he'd occasionally bag one. And moving on to the right back position, and there's only one name for me, and that's Gary Neville. Now, cynics have got this chant about the Neville. As if the Nevilles can play for England, so can I. Now, anyone who seriously sings that, you've got a screw loose. Because Gary Neville was an absolute legend of the game. He played 400 times for Man United in the league, and he was captain for 5 years. He also played 85 times for England, which made him the most capped right back in English history. This was a man who was aggressive, he had wonderful stamina, great in the tackle. I mean, he was defensive minded, you know, in an old fashioned way, but occasionally he could get up and he linked really well with David Beckham. He's also a man who was a great leader, very determined, very professional. When he walked out onto that pitch, there was only going to be one result. United were going to win. Now, centre-back, absolutely going here for Rio Ferdinand. Now, Rio came to Leeds, I think it was from West Ham, and broke the transfer record. He then was sold by Leeds to Man United for 30 million quid, which was a record for its day. And he went on to play 312 times in the league for Man United and 81 times for England. Now, this was a man with incredible technical ability. He was a defender who loved the ball at his feet. He wasn't scared of taking his time and playing the right pass. So in many ways, he was kind of a modern European type centre-back. He was good in the air, he was strong, he was fast, he could keep going for 90 minutes. I suppose the only blot on his copybook was he once got an 8-month ban for missing a drug test. So a little bit forgetful, but I can't blame you, Rio. Doctors once took my blood and discovered it was pure Boddington's bitter. Alongside Rio at centre-back, I've gone for Nemanja Vidic, the hard Serb. Now, the story with Nemanja is that in 2006, he was playing for the Serbian national team in the World Cup qualifiers. And during the whole campaign, they only conceded one goal. Nemanja was as hard as nails, great in the tackle, composed, good at passing, determined, pacey. You know, he had everything. And he also had leadership ability. And I think he captained Man U for about 4 seasons. And like I said, like most Serbs, he was absolutely rock hard. I mean, if I spilt his pint, I would run a mile in 4 minutes flat. And in 2008 to 2009, in that season, United kept 14 clean sheets in a row. And finishing off the defence at left back, I've got the one and only Patrice Evra, who was the captain of France and Man United, also played at Nice, Monaco, Juventus and Marseille. This was a man with incredible footballing pedigree. This was a guy who was only 5'8", he wasn't a big lad, but he was pacey. You know, he could get up that left wing really quickly. He was tough, he was good in the tackle. And a few Thogdad facts about this man. He was one of 25 children. He was allergic to eggs and he spoke 5 languages. Moving on to central midfield. So I'm going to tell you a story about a 5'6" lad from North Manchester. Now this lad, he wasn't very quick, wasn't very good at tackling, very shy. He suffered from asthma, so he had trouble breathing. He had problems with his knees. Now, if you heard all that, you thought he's not going to make it in football. This was Paul Scholes. Turned out to be one of the greatest footballers of all times. He played 718 times for Man United, which was the 3rd highest appearances ever for the club. And I can't believe it, he won 11 Premier League titles, 2 Champions League titles, 12 other trophies, and he also played loads of times for England. You know, he got the ball and it was almost impossible to get it off him. Very strong on the ball, incredible final pass, wonderful football intelligence and vision. He was a man who scored goals, he had a volley on him, got lots of assists. Zinedine Zidane says this was the greatest midfielder of all time. Pele, one of the world's greats, said that if Scholes had been playing alongside him, he'd have scored loads more goals. The only downside was he got a lot of yellow cards. 99 Premier League yellow cards was the 3rd highest of all time, joint with Kevin Davis of Bolton, and behind only Lee Bowyer and Gareth Barry. Also at central midfield, the one and only Republic of Ireland legend, Roy Keane, who played under Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest and ended his career at Celtic. Now, he's played 326 times for Man United in the league, scoring 33 goals. That's a good record for a central midfielder. He was a box-to-box midfielder with incredible stamina, really tough, good in the tackle, and he would keep going from the first minute to the last. And the great thing about him was he mirrored the attitude of Sir Alex on the pitch. He was a winner. Pele says this was one of the all-time greats of the game. He used to live near me, actually, and I used to see him walking his dog Triggs up and down Stamford Road in Bowden. The downside of this man is that, you know, his aggression, sometimes it took it too far, got him into trouble, and he was sent home from the 2002 World Cup. And of course, the fine central midfielder, David Beckham, OBE. Now, this was a man who won league titles in England, France, Spain, and the USA. He played 265 times for Man United in the league and scored 62 goals. So that's a goal every 4 games. Now, what Beckham was great at was passing. You know, he wasn't a guy who'd take players on. He wasn't a fast guy. He liked the ball at his feet and a bit of time. And he'd ping a short pass or a long pass to someone's feet. Wonderful at crosses, wonderful at taking penalties. His free kicks are legendary. Now, a lot of people say he was a good player and not a great player. Now, interestingly, Sir Alex Ferguson was asked, who are the world-class players that you had at Man United? And he immediately said Rooney, Cantona, Giggs and Scholes. He didn't say David Beckham. Maradona said, he's a good player, nothing more. But I tell you what, Diego, you're an Argentinian cheat, nothing more. And there goes my fan base in Argentina. Well, I tell you what, right wing is a man who once said, "People are jealous of me as I am rich, handsome, and a great player." Now, I'm not talking about myself there. I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. He won the Ballon d'Or 5 times. He won the Champions League 5 times. One of the greatest players of all time. Now, he went to Man United age 18. So, interestingly, I went to his first game, as I've talked to about on many occasions. And even at age 18, he was a bit of a Bambi. He hadn't bulked up by then. But I was sat next to Graham, my mate, who's a Man United fan, and I turned to him and I said, "Graham, this young Portuguese lad, he's going to be a special player." And I got that one right. And really, he learnt his game at Man United. He played 196 times in the league for United and got 84 goals, which is actually a really good record of goals per game. But he was criticised at the time by many. Some people called him a one-trick show pony. Some people said, yeah, there were too many skills, there wasn't enough final product. I mean, he's good with both feet. He's agile, he could take on 3, 4, 5 players. He's brilliant in the air. He's got a great shot on him. I mean, what can't he do? Some people have said he's arrogant. Well, I say he's got every right to be. Some people say he's selfish, but quite honestly, when you can take 3 players on and bang it in the top bins, why shouldn't you? Yes, he simulates a bit too much, but that is part of the European game. What an astonishing player. My striker is, of course, the amazing Wayne Rooney, who made his debut for Everton age 16, and we could all see how good he was even then. He went to Man United for 26 million and he played 393 times in the league for United, scoring 183 goals. He got 253 goals total for Man United, which is an all-time record. He also bagged 53 goals for England, which is an England record. So this is a man who back in the day was fast and skillful and determined. He could pick out a pass. He had a wonderful footballing brain. He had a volley. He could score simple goals. He could score spectacular goals. He had his weight issues over the years. And some people argue that maybe if he'd looked after himself, a few less ciggies, a little bit less booze over the years, a little bit more time down the gym, he could still be going at the top level. No offence to Derby County and Keithy and all my friends at Derby. And that's maybe true, but, he was sensational. He's still a good player. Wayne Rooney, a Man United and England legend. And possibly I've saved the best till last. A man called Ryan Giggs, a United and Wales legend. He played 672 times in the league for United, scoring 114 goals. And the incredible thing is, that was over 23 seasons. Imagine that level of loyalty. He also got 162 assists, which is a Premier League record. And if I read out what he won, 13 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, 2 Champions Leagues. Amazing. This man was an artist. This man was Leonardo da Vinci in footballing form. He could beat players. He could dribble past, 3, 4, 5 players. He was quick. He was intelligent. He had a great shot on him. He was just everything. And he kept going. His stamina was incredible. And he was still playing football aged 40. A Thogdad fact, Ryan Giggs actually captained England at schoolboy level. But interestingly, he was never eligible to play for England. Thank you for bearing with me all those stats, and it really takes me back to the 90s and the early part of the 21st century. And United fans of today, I'm sorry you missed out on some amazing times, and I hope for your sake they come back soon. This is Thogdad. This is my first ever video of my own on YouTube. Go and like and subscribe if you like. But, the editing is probably absolutely terrible. So from me and the meerkats, see ya.